clip on social media from Saturday Night Fever, and it was the Bee Gees singing the song, How Deep Is Your Love? So that's what I thought I'd talk about today. You see, every intimate relationship can only go as deep as your relationship with yourself. When your self-worth is strong and self-love is real, you no longer enter in relationships looking to be completed, rescued, validated. Instead, you show up as whole. And from that wholeness comes honesty, comes emotional safety, and the freedom for real connection to grow. The depth of every relationship is not determined by how much two people cling to each other, but how grounded each person is in their own value. When you know your worth and treat yourself with respect, your relationships will naturally deepen because love is no longer coming from need. It's coming from strength. And that's huge to understand, that love is not from need, but we believe it to be that. We're taught that. You see, the depth of our self-love mirrors the depth of our self-respect. A relationship can go as deep as the one you have with yourself. If you doubt your worth, you'll constantly look to someone else to reassure you that you matter. When you truly respect and value yourself, you stop begging for love. You start sharing it because you know your value. Depth really appears when two people meet as whole individuals, not as two people trying to fill each other's emptiness. And so often what I see is that one person will be getting to the depth, and the other person won't. And then the person who's getting there is looking for the other person to change. Well, they will or they won't. And guess what? You have no control over that. You see, wholeness, your own wholeness, your awareness of your wholeness, that creates emotional safety. When you know who you are and you stand in your own worth, you no longer need to manipulate. You no longer chase approval. You no longer fear abandonment. That inner stability creates emotional safety in the relationship because you know who you are. That safety, and from that safety comes honesty, vulnerability, real connection. The deeper you're rooted in yourself, the deeper the relationship can grow, as long as both people want it to grow. Real love comes from strength. It doesn't come from need. Neediness makes relationships shallow because it turns love into dependency. But when self-love is real, you're not looking for someone to complete you. You're already complete. From that place, love becomes a choice, not a survival strategy. And when love is chosen from strength rather than need, it naturally becomes deeper, freer, and more authentic. This is something that I've learned in my own relationship with my wife. The beauty of our relationship is that she gives me the freedom to be me. Now I can choose to accept that or reject that. A lot of times we may be in relationship with a partner and they give us the freedom and we won't choose it. We won't choose it because we've been so conditioned by our past, so conditioned by our parents, so conditioned by society, so conditioned by religion that we won't step out in our uniqueness and our authenticity. We want to feel approved. And that's the death of love. Because love needs no outside approval. Love only desires to express as you, through you, in you, and then to express outward in and as and through others. And what you find is that as you grow and you become more loving, people will either get closer to you or they'll move farther away. If they move farther away, guess what? People who want to be close to you can now enter. They can now come in because you've created space for love instead of space for whatever we call this thing that's not love. So with that, there's a lot to digest here. I invite you to share this message with all who might benefit, because this is something that's not normally taught. But you've heard it. Why not share it? But more importantly, why not start the journey to self-love and become worthy of a life that is so magnificent and relationships that are so magnificent that it's a joy to be alive. And with that, much love and aloha.